I tell you what, I'm excited to see it right here.
To feel the power of a bucking horse and the anticipation of the nod and the gate opening, there's not a feeling like it. I have some friends that got some Lamborghinis and some cars and planes or helicopters, whatever it be. When that car, you put it in rocket mode and you feel that, isn't that amazing? But it's like, you get on a bucking horse, there's not a rocket mode that leaves the buck and shoot like a bucking horse, that's for sure. To get off a bucking horse and know you did your job, and then you hear the crowd and the roar, there's so many words that could describe that moment, but it's gratifying. Making money at 8 seconds at a time compared to net 30, net 90, whatever it be is a challenge. But without school, I guess you could say I would have been lost. I would have been set back in life, not as successful, and there's things that I learned from college that are everlasting that will forever benefit my life.
The UVU Rodeo program started in 1968, so it's been around for quite a while. It was the first athletic program that the university had, and they actually took some of the money that the rodeo program had raised and put it towards the basketball program. It actually was part of athletics in 2001, and once the university became part of the NCAA, where our athletes pay entries and win money, we had to be removed from the athletic program because of that. I've been over the rodeo program for 16 years now. Louis Fields was the first full-time position.
I was very fortunate. My dad was a 5-time world champion cowboy. He never talked about I did it this way. I won the world because of this. He led by example, and he was one of the most humble champions I've ever been around. He was the guy that honestly lived by speak less and do more. And that's how he coached his team as well. Tough, grit, show up and do your job and do it the best you possibly can. In my opinion, he's a true champion, and true champions are guys that not only can be champions, but they can coach champions as well. I think that's why my dad was so successful at UVSC, at UVU for several years and coached champions. Is not only was he a champion, but he could simulate the things that he did to become a champion in these young kids at the college and at practice and show them the way how to be a champion rather than trying to tell them. When you grow up rodeo and you go to the junior rodeos and then high school rodeos, it's you and the animal. You're not concerned about anybody else. And then you go to college and you're on a team, and everybody's points matter, everybody's discipline is part of the team. But it's awesome to feel that. It's awesome that your performance matters, and it adds a little pressure. You want to represent that college the best that you can, and people really want to represent that brand well and win. It's an amazing accomplishment when you have a team that's successful and everybody's clicking together.
I think lots of us have realized that we can't rodeo the rest of our lives. And so being able to have a degree is amazing. Knowledge is power, and I believe that to be true. And I think that's a wonderful thing that UVU provides us with, is we love to rodeo, and so they're willing to give us a scholarship, pay for us to go to school, and we get a degree out of the deal, and then we're able to be better humans because of it.
My experience with the rodeo is really, with UVU per se, has been really good. It's been awesome to be able to go to school, get a degree, and to be able to rodeo. It's an interesting sport because it's a split second. Like everything, you have to have the perfect muscle memory. Everything has to come together at that one time in that split second. And so it takes a lot of grit and a lot of determination to work, fail, work, fail, work, fail, you know. And I think building that, you know, that grit from rodeo has definitely helped with school, like studying, and also like if you're failing a class or if you do bad on a test, it's like, no, gotta redo it, right? I gotta keep going. And just having that grit and being tough, I feel like, rodeo has definitely taught me that for sure.
As far as how we compete nationally, we actually do really well. It's a little bit different than most of your sports or most of your athletics because we don't have conferences or divisions that we stay within. When we go to nationals, it's every team that has had someone qualify that ends up there. One year we had 5 national champions from our region, and then last year we won the steer wrestling. The impact it has had on students is a lot of these students probably would not be going to college without a rodeo program. I know in my 16 years I've had probably half or better of my athletes that have came to school because of the rodeo program, that they've been smart enough to take advantage of the education, and they have been able to have great careers and good jobs that they weren't thinking of at the time, but it's taking advantage of the education has really improved their well-being and their careers. Our rodeo program the last 6 years has came a long ways. We built this arena in 2018. We knew building it that it would be temporary. What I think we can do if we have a permanent facility is I think we can really impact our program along with the community. Where we're at right now, it doesn't give us the opportunity to do the things that we could just because of the location and the spacing and that kinds of things. But with the new facility and being a little bit more spread out, give us more parking, those kinds of things, easier to get to. I really think that we can grow our program and impact the community around us. One thing that I see in Utah that we could really use is more schools and more ways to be able to help these kids that their parents didn't grow up rodeoing, that want to be involved, that want to rodeo. Just give them the foundation to build off of. And I think if we can get to an area where it gives us more space than what we need, we can put on those ground schools and do them for free, and just our program, our students putting them on, and just building the Western way of life, which, as we know here in Utah County, it's slowly disappearing.
If UVU got a new arena, it would change the program in a really big way. It would give us a place to practice. I think it would better our athletes, make us more competitive, be able to let us keep better care of our animals. Our animal athletes are super important to what we do. They're honestly the majority of what we do, and so it would help us take better care of them. I would love to see it become a learning center and let people come learn about rodeo, because I think rodeo is something that's fizzling out that needs to be growing. It teaches such great qualities and has such great people within it, helps build such strong relationships that I think we really need to gather people around it and further the education and the knowledge that UVU's rodeo team has.
So keeping the sport alive is my main goal. I want to create some events in the state of Utah that are a little different than your traditional rodeos. I want to be able to get eyes on the sport that have never seen it. I want to bring more fans to the sport. If you've never been to a rodeo, you've probably seen it on TV and you look at a bull rider and just, man, he's crazy. Or, a guy that rides bucking horses, a timed event guy, The time and the effort that it takes to perform for a short period of time, the travel that it takes to get there goes unnoticed. What I would like people to do if they've never been to a rodeo is maybe go and say hi to some of the athletes. They're very open, very humble people. And so to go and say hello to them and shake their hand and just get a little taste of who they really are. I would just like to encourage the young rodeo athletes here in the state of Utah to look at UVU and give them an opportunity before thinking anywhere else. It's a great school, it's a great program they have in place for the rodeo athletes, and to have Shane as a coach and go practice with that guy is something amazing. It really is. I'm a little bit biased, but these Utah kids are tough. I encourage them to stay here in the state of Utah and represent the state of Utah and be winners here in our home state.